by Ram trucks, built to serve.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright. You got Kevin Wilds there. Chris Broussard is with us on a great Thursday morning. We got a lot of good things happening today to talk about. Wait till you see what Cam Newton is now doing to prove he's ready to go today. Can the Patriots win a Super Bowl within the next 5 years? And will the Sixers blow it all up if they don't make it to the finals this season? Don't answer that yet, Wilds. We are sticking in the NBA to start our top story this morning. And that is what's next for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Will he sign a Supermax this offseason? And if not, should the Milwaukee Bucks keep him for his final year or trade him away? Every team in the league salivating at the chance to land arguably the best player in the league. And somehow, someway, that includes the cash-strapped Golden State Warriors. With the Athletics' Tim Kawakami tweeting that Andrew Wiggins could be key to an eventual trade for the Greek Freak. Now, this sent Nick into a tizzy last night. If you're wondering what Nick looks like in a tizzy, see for yourself. Nick, could the Warriors be in the game for Giannis this summer? Go.
Well, it's not so much that sent me into a tizzy. It's that I would like to congratulate LeVar Ball for his life philosophy infecting the greater Bay Area, which is just speak it into existence, and no matter how illogical, no matter how impossible, no matter how improbable, people will believe it can happen. I believe Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee, but let's set that aside. Let's say Giannis absolutely 100% is leaving. There are literally half the league can come up with a far better trade offer than the best thing the Warriors can offer this summer, which is Andrew Wiggins, LaMelo Ball, or whatever that lottery pick turns into, and the Minnesota pick, which is protected in the top two, that they got in the Andrew Wiggins trade because they had to take on the inferior player, the overpaid player, the inefficient player in Andrew Wiggins. This is only because the Warriors have mind-melded everyone because they got fortunate when the cap spiked and with Steph's contract when they got Kevin Durant that they have some light years ahead philosophy. They don't. There is no chance that the Bucks trade Giannis for 12 cents on the dollar. Broussard, if they're going to trade him, here are some teams that can make real offers. The Miami Heat can offer you all their young players. Bam, Hero, Duncan Robinson. They would have to include Iguodala to make the money work. What about the Raptors, where you mentioned smartly he has a relationship with Masai? What about Pascal Siakam, OG, and their draft picks? The Celtics, if Danny Ainge ever wants to get off his butt and make a trade. What about Jason Tatum and the Memphis pick? Tatum and a pick for Giannis. I'd keep going. Washington could offer Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura. The Sixers could offer Ben Simmons, Matthias Thybulle, and picks. Denver could say, you can have Jokic or Jamal Murray, your pick, plus Gary Harris and picks. I could keep going. Almost every team in the league can make a better offer than overpaid Andrew Wiggins, a top 5 pick in a bad draft, and whatever the Minnesota pick's going to turn into. This is a total impossibility, which is why I find it so maddening, Broussard.
Yeah, look, I mean, it is a stretch to think that he can end up in Golden State, and people keep talking about it. When we spoke about it a few days ago, I just thought the Warriors had a better chance than Toronto. But I don't think either team is getting Giannis, and you laid the point out pretty well. Obviously, they could put Clay in instead of Andrew Wiggins. Maybe they could put both in, and it's Giannis and another person to sweeten the pie. But still, the chances of him going to Golden State are very slim. I'm going to address Wiggins because, Nick, you are always killing Andrew Wiggins. And let me say this. As a fourth option, and that's what he is, remember, fourth option, he is going to be good for Golden State. When Andre Iguodala had to be the number 1 option in Philadelphia or a higher option in Denver, didn't go too well. He goes to Golden State as a guy off the bench or, a fourth option as a starter, and he has a great end to his career. Sean Livingston, when he was viewed as a top guy, more of a top guy than he was in Golden State, he struggled. He gets to the Warriors in a perfect role off the bench, and he shines. Andrew Wiggins is a fourth option, career 20-point scorer, can play very good defense. He was locked in, defended well in Golden State. I think he's going to be good for the Warriors.
Oh my God! Again with your disrespect to Andre. Again with your disrespect to Andre Iguodala, Broussard. It's just comparing Andre Iguodala. It's just insanity. Andre Iguodala, an outstanding perimeter defender. Andrew Wiggins has been, since he was at the University of Kansas, folks have been like, he could be a great defender. He did it for a week in Golden State. He was an average defender. People were like, oh, he's unlocked it. Sean Livingston wasn't making max money. But again, I ask you this. If Andrew Wiggins has this value that I'm not seeing, why did Minnesota have to include next year's draft pick in order to get D'Angelo Russell, not one of the 25 best players in the league, just to get Golden State to take him? You know the answer is because he is an overpaid bad asset. Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
by Minnesota. I'm with you on that. Well, that was ridiculous. They could have gotten D'Angelo without giving up that draft pick. But Wiggins, I'm telling you, he was misplaced as a first or second option. He's a fourth option in Golden State, Nick.
Fourth option that makes $30 million. What I don't understand is it's a salary cap league, Wilds, and if your fourth option makes $30 million, you're ruined. But Wilds, what I'm very interested in is evidently Minnesota really did screw up, because Minnesota could have had Giannis, because they had Wiggins. They've got the same pick this year Golden State does. They got the second worst record in basketball, and they could have had their own pick. So they could have just held fort and traded for Giannis, evidently, because Andrew Wiggins is going to be unlocked as a $30 million fourth option, Wilds. I'm excited to see it.
I was going to bring it back to Giannis, Nick, because I think this whole thing is centered on, does Giannis want to leave? If he doesn't want to leave, none of this matters anyways. And in the history of the league, and Nick, correct me if I've got this wrong, I think superstars have only left for three reasons. They're the big three C's: city, cash, and championships. Let's start with City. He likes Milwaukee. He's pillar of the community. He said it 100 times. He likes Milwaukee, wants to raise his kids in Milwaukee. He's very happy there. Number two, cash. Bobby Marks reported, since he got his second All-NBA team, he can sign the biggest extension in league history. It goes down to about 5 years, $247 million. So then number three, championships. He went from a 15-win team as a rookie to, when you look at point differential for the Bucks, to the fifth best all time. The four previous teams had all won the championships. So between City, cash, and championships, the guy's got no reason to leave, Jenna. I think he stays and is a Buck for life.
Okay, you make an incredible point, but on the off chance he doesn't, Broussard, sign the Supermax this offseason, what should Milwaukee do at that point?
Keep him. Go for a championship. This is not an Anthony Davis situation where they didn't, in New Orleans, had no chance to win. The Bucks are well run, and they could win a title. Worst case scenario, if they keep Giannis, they challenge in the East. They don't get to the finals, but you still had a nice run. Best case scenario, if he leaves, you win a championship, and he walks out the door, you still have your first title since Lou Alcindor in 1971. So look at Toronto. They're not in terrible shape. They got their championship with Kawhi. He left, and they still are a pretty good team. I know Milwaukee will fall off more than the Raptors, but there is no way, even if Giannis says, I am not staying, I would keep him and try to go for a championship. It's rare that a small market team like this has an opportunity to win a title. They need to maximize Giannis for however long he stays.
All right, I'm going to say something here that unfortunately I don't say as often as I used to. Chris Broussard is 1,000% correct. I used to say that all the time, then Broussard went a little crazy over the last few years, but absolutely 100% right. The distinction between New Orleans' decision with Anthony Davis and Milwaukee's decision with Giannis is New Orleans looked themselves in the mirror and had to be honest. If we keep him, we are still drawing dead to win a title this year, and then he walks out the door for nothing. If Giannis doesn't sign the extension and just goes radio silent, or even if he says, guys, I'm not staying, You absolutely 100% run it back, hope that winning the title will change his mind. And even if you don't win, even if it doesn't change his mind, if you'll go into next season as one of, if not the favorite, and if you win the title, that's the whole point of the sport. Milwaukee, once upon a time, had a player of Giannis's caliber. They traded him because they didn't want him to walk out the door for nothing. His name was Lou Alcindor, then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Their franchise was in the wilderness for 45 years because of that. If you have Giannis, you hold on to him for dear life, and if he leaves you, he leaves you. But there is no way, shape, or form I would trade him, even if I got one of those great offers where someone offers me Nikola Jokic or someone offers me Jason Tatum. And I know Celtic fans believe Tatum's better than Giannis, so they wouldn't even do that trade. But I still wouldn't do it, Wilds. You hold on to him as long as you possibly can, and you hope you win the title next year, Kevin.
That's right. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Nor has he hinted that he is. If anything, all he said is he wants to stay in Milwaukee. He loves Milwaukee. All right, let's transition to some football now, where Cam Newton's latest Instagram post could prove he's ready to play for a team today. But is there a team ready for him? That's next on First Things First.